Corrupt cops that finally got arrested. We trust the police to protect us. But what happens when the police are the ones who are breaking the law? In this video, we'll take a look at some corrupt cops who finally got arrested. We'll explore their crimes, how they were caught, and what happened to them. In Jackson County, Florida, a police officer discovered himself caught in a troubling state of affairs. This officer, named Zachary Wester, became accused of framing harmless individuals and fabricating evidence toward them. The incidents passed off back in 2018, while Wester, who was serving as a deputy within the department on account that 2016, changed into observed planting pills in motors, resulting in fake costs being delivered against unsuspecting drivers. As soon as the allegations surfaced, Wester was promptly suspended from his obligations. The case against him proceeded to trial 3 years later, losing the light on the abuse of power by means of a regulation enforcement officer whose responsibility changed to defend and serve the network. His number one targets appear to be drivers passing via the region. Wester would pull them over under the pretense of ordinary visitors' tests. This case highlights a stressful breach of acceptance as true and the misuse of authority with the aid of a regulation law enforcement officer. It increases issues about the integrity of the justice system and the protection of character rights. The trial had the intention to preserve Zachary Wester answerable for his actions and bring justice to those who were wrongfully accused and harmed by means of his misconduct. In this case, a person named Stephen Van, who had a previous criminal conviction and had recently been launched from prison, encountered Deputy Zachary Wester throughout a routine visitor prevention. Van became cooperative and allowed Wester to look at his vehicle, confident that he had nothing to cover. However, much to his astonishment, Wester determined methamphetamine in his automobile. Wester faced severe prices, which include 67 counts of racketeering, fabricating evidence, false imprisonment, and possession of controlled substances. He pleaded not accountable for all expenses. After a 5-day trial with several witnesses, the jury deliberated and in the end reached a verdict. Wester's been convicted of 19 fees, together with the unjustified arrests of Stephen Van and Teresa Odom. Justice has been served in retaining him liable for his movements. In July 2021, the corrupt officer received a sentence of 12.5 years in a national prison. These legal, very fast consequences marked a significant victory in preserving an officer liable for his misconduct. It serves as an example of the importance of body virtual camera pictures in uncovering and proving wrongdoing inside regulation enforcement. Bill Miller, a police officer who had been serving with the Georgia Police Department for the reason that 2014, located himself concerning in a disturbing incident that in the end brought about the destruction of his career. In July 2018, Miller arrested Ashley Roberts for driving under the influence and possession of methamphetamine. After being arrested on bond, Roberts received a text message from Miller asking her to meet him in a car parking zone. Once there, he invited her into his car and provided her with beer. Detecting a potentially dangerous situation, Roberts surreptitiously used her mobile phone's voice recorder. Later, she disclosed that Miller led them to a remote location where the situation took an unsettling turn.
Sure, no boobs?
Yeah, I'm sure.
God almighty.
Sorry.
Can't you give me the dignity of a boob shot?
Sorry.
One boob.
Please don't fault me for that.
I really don't want to have sex with you. I just with you.
I have.
I mean, I would, because you're not a bad looking girl. You just need to straighten your ass out.
After the incident, Roberts promptly reported what happened to multiple news agencies and provided them with recorded evidence. This led to Monroe County investigators getting involved, ultimately resulting in Miller's subsequent arrest in August 2018. Miller was fired from his job at the Monroe County Sheriff's Department following an investigation. During the trial, Miller was found guilty and convicted of legal bribery and violating the oath of office. However, he did not get a hold of a prison sentence. Instead, he was sentenced to 8 years probation, imposed with a $2,000 fine, and prohibited from entering or traveling through Monroe, Lamar, or Butts counties until the entirety of his probation. The conviction will completely impact Miller's potential as a law enforcement officer, successfully finishing his profession in that subject. In 2017, Detroit police officer Daniel Vickers and previous Detroit police lieutenant John F. Kennedy conspired with an unidentified towing contractor, imparting protection in exchange for money and different property. They violated city policies by presenting referrals to the towing business enterprise out of the doors of the branch's rotation. Vickers obtained $3,400 from the towing organization, even as Kennedy popularized $14,950 in cash, motors, and repairs. Both officials knew they had been conducting corrupt practices. Vickers pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit bribery and is presently serving 27 months in federal jail, the harshest sentence in a public corruption case. Kennedy has additionally pleaded responsible and awaits sentencing. Meanwhile, former Raleigh police officer Kevin Rodriguez was arrested in February 2022 for selling cocaine at the same time as on duty. He pled guilty to conspiracy, distribution, ownership, and firearm prices. Rodriguez's movements betrayed public acceptance as true, and he's going to completely surrender his law enforcement certification and be barred from certification in North Carolina. These instances spotlight the misconduct of a few officials who abuse their strength, tarnishing the career of policing that many dedicate their lives to upholding.